What is up, YouTube? The name's King, and we're here for another Dragon Ball Daima episode discussion slash kind of a review, I guess. Obviously a big deal. Daima has come to an end with episode 20. Um, this series has had its ups and downs, but overall, I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm glad we got it, and I'm glad that Akira Toriyama had fun with it. And that's what I'll say up front. You could tell that he had a lot of fun with it, which is why he got more and more involved with it as the show went on. Because I think it had it had a bit of everything that he liked. The whimsy of the OG Dragon Ball, like that episode with the giant, like the planet of the giants, was really fun for me. Like I really enjoyed that. It reminded me of the old Dragon Ball experience, and even though a lot of people didn't like that episode, and so like I'm saying, like it had bits of that, the exploration and all that at the beginning, even though it didn't really pay off too much, and then then you get up to the fights and stuff, and then using the power pole, in the Tamagami 3 fight, it's just like you got all the little best pieces of Dragon Ball all throughout this series, up until the hype fights at the end. So yeah, there was like a lot of that. Like I just felt Toriyama's joy of Dragon Ball returning a little bit in the series, even though you know, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So first off, I've already talked for like a minute and a half. I do want to say that I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit under the influence. I drank a little bit, not too much, but I did drink in preparation for the episode. After I got out of work, I've been really tired and stuff, so I watched the episode, and then I'm starting to record this about like an hour and a half after I watched the episode, because I didn't have time to do it because I was doing other things. But yeah, I still wanted to talk about it today on this day because obviously that's when everybody's gonna be talking about it, and I wanted to be part of the conversation. As small as my channel is, I might as well do it today. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go over what DBS Hype usually posts. Like I said, he hasn't been posting the play by plays anymore. Just a few of the things that of note that he's posted, but overall, before I even go into these images and stuff, I thought the finale was solid. Like the fight is amazing, peak. Like Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Goma. Goma got down in this episode. He was doing some moves that I thought were very unique and cool with that eye. So I really enjoyed that because I didn't like how he was fighting up until now. So he, at least to me, really showed his creativity with magic, which is something that Shin was hyping up about. Like, don't underestimate his magic, and I wanted Goma to not be so much of a physical fighter and be a magic user, and you kind of see it here. Obviously he's mostly fighting physically, but he definitely uses much more magic in this episode, and I enjoyed that. So he got down Super Saiyan 4 Goku, fucking amazing, of course. Like I said, like um to me the mini, when he was mini, didn't hit as hard. And I'll be honest, here again, it doesn't hit as hard. I was much more hype in the previous episode with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. I was yelling, I was like, oh my god. So like, even though I like Super Saiyan 4 as a transformation, I just don't think it hits for me as much as it does for other people. Like, to me, Super Saiyan 3 is just more hype. So, but I definitely liked how he looked here in this episode, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Way better. His eye proportions were really off when he transformed at the end of episode 19, and I was like, oh my god. He just looks weird. But even though his eyes are still pretty big, it looked better in this episode, and I don't know why, but it didn't bother me at all. It didn't bother me at all. But yeah, fight was great, and then of course we go into the almost the third part of the episode, I guess. Uh, just finishing off the story and shit, and that's where most of my issues arise, I guess. So I'll go over things some here. I'm glad Goma didn't die because I don't think he's such an evil bastard that he deserved to die. I also feel like him being trapped for 100 years in that thing is also a little bit too much. Like, yeah, he kidnapped Dende, but He didn't kill anybody. He didn't really do much. I don't think he deserves that much jail time, to be honest. And then okay, here we go to the second half of this episode. So Vegeta gets angry at Goku, as it does. I guess he does. This happens all the time. He just gets mad when Goku has another transformation. So we do this again, and then Goku is like, "Oh, you mean Super Saiyan 4?" Like, oh, he didn't even say it. Oh yeah, but he's saying right here. Oh, I trained a lot after I fought Boo. I didn't even think it was gonna work. It's like what? And then okay, there's like a little bit more talk here. Like, oh, you turned into Super Saiyan 3 too, right? It's like, oh, man. So I've been saying all along that I thought that all these characters, like all the Goku and friends, would have their memories erased because that just makes sense. And then when Glorio and whoever else shows up in the regular timeline later on, like in Super or whatever, like even if it's for the Moro arc, like imagine they do a lot of improvisation for the Moro arc. Imagine Glorio, Pansy, um, I don't know who else would show up from the demon world. I don't think Arinsu would show up. Ku is now I guess now Ku is now Demon King. So like some characters from the demon world show up and then they get their memories back. Neva maybe. That's how I thought it would go. Like they just get their memories back later. Like I just thought that they would come up with a plot reason for them to forget because it doesn't make sense now. Like if this is before Super, this just continuity needs to happen. Like it needs to connect. Things need to connect. You can't just make things like that. That's what that really does bug me, and that like that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching X-Men. Like after X-Men Days of Future Past was really good movie, and then after that I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna tap out after this. Like it's a good movie, but the timelines are still like it felt like a good end. Like I'm not gonna keep watching because this is like some weird, like it just bugged me too much. And like the fan base of those movies agrees. Like they always make jokes about the timeline of X-Men, and I feel like Dragon Ball is getting there with this, and just all the other retcons that they've done. Like I don't even care about all the other retcons, like the Potara ones and all that shit. Like I don't care at all. But this one, since it's kind of like a prequel, you kind of just slotted like, oh, this is after Majin Buu saga, but before Super. Now you're doing things like this. It just means like Toei really doesn't care. Like Toriyama, I feel like he's just having fun. He's like, oh, they'll work it out. Like I'm just gonna do my own thing. They'll work it out later. The Dragon Ball room, whatever. And unfortunately, he passed away. And now there's like there was drama before he even passed away. And it's just when are we gonna get answers to how this makes sense into the timeline? Like I think Toei's just like, yeah, let's just make a hype beast anime. And at the end it was, and that's it. Like we're not gonna worry about the story or whatever. We're just doing what we're doing because Dragon Ball is a popular anime. Oh God. um, it's so rare for me to get a reply or anything going on in my Twitter, so that caught me by surprise. But yeah, it's like it feels like this anime happened because of Dragon Ball's popularity. Just to put something out there, like obviously the creators put a lot of love into it, and they've been working on it for many years now. But from like a supervising storyboard concept, like well, not concept, like view, it feels like there was no thought into that at all because the end just like this. I love this little moment, but yeah, like we get these scenes of like right here, everybody going like becoming grown ups. Gohan erasure, Gohan erasure is real. Like for where's Gohan? Um, but yeah, like okay, fight is great. Ku becoming Demon King is awesome. I love Ku. This is dumb. No fusion bugs either. Like I feel like what when you introduce the fusion bugs, that's a Chekhov's gun, if you know that term. When you introduce something into a story and you talk about the potential of what could happen if this is there, that's the Chekhov's gun. Like, that means that it's gonna happen. Like, why you introduced it so it can happen later. So to introduce a mechanic that's like a Chekhov's gun and then just discard it is very strange. It's it's like in Game of Thrones when you build up the freaking White Walkers in episode 1 and then you just ignore them or they just die off screen or something. Or something happens and then, oh, they're not a threat anymore. Like, you introduce this concept so it can come into fruition later on. Like, that's like a basic writing 101. So even though it's uh, I feel like some people will argue that it's creative or it's like innovative to turn that on its head. It's like, oh, we introduced this concept and we're actually not going to use it. See, ha ha ha. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in a writing capacity because you introduce this concept, so now people expect it. So when you don't realize it, it just brings disappointment instead of, oh, that's so cool that they didn't do it. Ha, they got me. It creates the opposite effect. You're not creating what do you call it? You're not creating a surprising turn of events in the plot. You're just working against yourself because you're almost promising something and then you don't do it. So it's better to not introduce it at all. So that's what's weird about that. Like, I don't care that they didn't infuse. Like, I would have been fine with this anime if nobody fused at all. But if you introduce a concept and almost like a tease of somebody fusing, then you prime me to expect it. And that's what a lot of people are talking about the fusion bugs. And I agree with them. But I saw True talking about it's like at this point Dragon Ball is kind of like a toy making, like just like I said, it's a hype beast machine, and I agree for the most part. Um, because I saw some One Piece like some One Piece fans say like oh my god, I love One Piece, but I hate the fans, man. I really do. Even though I'm a fan, like I saw some people saying, "Oh, Dragon Ball fans just care about big flashy fight, oh big flashy transformation. They don't care about story." We got our badass story. We already got our badass good story 30 years ago. Like, we got our perfect fucking arcs. Like, Android Cell Saga, like, I think it's written so well. Like, to me, it's just a peak. Namek Saga is also very, 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 very good. Saiyan Saga is obviously very good. Like, all of it is, like, if you were watching it back then, peak. And it is still peak. Like, it's just so good. Obviously, there's other animes that are, like, are written so well, like Attack on Titan, like other ones. Like, just, they're written so well, it's like, okay. Like, when you're talking about, like, writing, like, Breaking Bad style writing, then yeah, there's other animes that are superior to Dragon Ball. But when it comes to, like, the perfect shonen type, like, anime, Dragon Ball was there. And obviously there's others like Naruto and One Piece that compare. But we had that. Like, we had that, and now we're in the post Toriyama years. Even though Toriyama was loosely involved or more heavily involved in some things here and there, we're in the post main story years. Like, I still consider Buu Saga as the main, like, part of that main story. And then all we get after that is bonus. And that's, some of it will be good, some of it will be bad. I thought Super was really good, even despite the animation issues. But, like, Super to me was a delight. I was surprised it was that hype and that good. But, like, something with Daima, I don't have a problem with it being such a, like, a bare bones story. I still would have preferred it to be better, but like I said, like the One Piece people are like, oh, people always just care about like we're starving out here. We don't have shit. We get a movie every 3 years or something. We haven't had that series since 2018. Like, come on. Like, we just want Dragon Ball to be back, and it's animation wise, it's back better than ever. Like, it's almost as good or better than Broly. So, like, I'm all for that. I'm all for the hype, and I'm all for the like I said, like I think like a Dokkan YouTuber because I am a Dokkan YouTuber. I think about all the animations. I think about all the units that could come out of the series, and I, to a degree, that's what Toei and Shueisha think about their series too. And it's a bit sad when it's something like this that is mostly just there to, like I said, sell toys, sell merchandise. But like I get it and I understand it and I accept it to a degree, but at the same time, it's like treat Dragon Ball as the worldwide phenomenon that it is, and I hope that we can Super can come back. We can get the more arc. Like I don't know. I haven't read the Dragon Ball manga, so the Super manga. So I'm waiting for Moro because I don't even know the story of Moro. I don't know anything of that happens there. I know some of the big spoilers because people can't help and talk about them. But when you have something like this so concentrated on like the demon world, I was expecting a Moro tease. I was expecting this series to connect to Super because I liked all the characters in it and I want them to continue. And for people to be like, oh my god, everybody's expecting too much from this, like, oh, they want everything to connect perfectly. It's like I want it to connect perfectly because I liked it. I don't want it to feel so disconnected. I don't want it to feel so out of, like, just in limbo of, like, I don't want to talk about canon because people get so messy about canon, but it's like, where does this exist? where like, is it actually real or not? Because unfortunately we do have to talk about canon, because if you don't explain how this makes sense once I start episode 1 of Super right after this, then it feels disconnected. Like, it's like I said, like, GT, a lot of people argue about whether it's canon or not. It's like, it's fine if it's canon in an alternate timeline, but that's ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like, GT's cool, not great. I liked it. Super Saiyan 4, great and all that, but it's still part of the Dragon Ball family, and Daima will be too. But I want things to connect, so it's like GT. It's kind of like this alternate timeline. So like, that's fine. That's cool. Like, it's not in the main canon, but it's still part of the Dragon Ball world, and it will continue to be so. And I want to know where Daima lands, and that's my main disappointment with this episode. It's like, where does it land? Like, I want these characters to return. Like, are they gonna return and everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, we had all this adventures at the Demon World, remember? Oh, we have all these bugs. Oh, we have all these Maginite. Oh, we have I have Super Saiyan 4? What? I've never talked about it. Like, it's crazy. We're already at Dragon Ball Superhero, timeline wise, and they've never talked about the Demon World. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we need things to connect, and it's kind of unfair for other Dragon Ball fans that are super into it. Like, they just love the hype machine of Dragon Ball. They're like, oh, you guys are thinking about it too much. It's like, eventually things have to connect. Like, that's what I'm saying. We can't just have random things happen for whatever reason. But all right. So that's my long rant on the negatives of this. But overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, I did. This, to me, was such a great moment. Pansy making Vegeta wave. Just the... What was it? The after credit scene I also thought might lead to a Moro tease, but no, it led to more Tertian Eyes, which is cool, because maybe we can have some other villains with that same eye. But why are they just in this random shop? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It's just like a funny gag thing, and I'm like, okay, whatever. This whole after credit scene looks amazing. I'm pretty sure Wit Studio made this because something about the way the character facial animations were animated or reminded me of the first three seasons of Attack on Titan. So we'll see if it is Wit Studio, but yeah, overall, this episode I give it like a solid 7.5 or an 8. I wanted it to connect more. I really did. 19 to me was the best episode of the series. Super Saiyan 4 Goku looks great. I can't wait for him to be in Dokkan. Look at this. Like, it's some freaking amazing. Like Kamehameha. Like they were aura forming with all the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But yeah, like I said, it's like people right now this is my phone. Like, we need these things to connect. We do. We can't just do whatever the fuck we want. But yeah, overall enjoyed it, but lots of little issues here and there. I think it's fair to criticize it, and I think it's unfair for people to shit on everyone has a critical eye on Daima. That is my take on it. But overall, moral. Why did they do this? I don't even know the details. I don't want to see it because I don't want spoilers. But yeah, I'll make another video soon about the next Dokkan Fest. But yeah, 10th anniversary of Dokkan is pretty much done. We'll see when all the Daima rollout happens, and we'll see when we get Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hearing me rant. I'm sorry if I'm slurring my words. I'm a little bit bust. I'm sorry that that I made this video this way, but I did want to talk about it now, so instead of tomorrow. So thanks for watching. See you guys later.